Well, I think it's safe to say Facebook has changed the world. And guess what has changed fishing too? I was in Perth on the weekend, looking through my Facebook feed. Locki Nichols, Eaglehawk neck, him and his brothers smacking massive bluefin tuna. We're talking fish potentially to 150 kilos, fish around 130, absolute beasts. So I jumped on a plane from Melbourne as soon as I got home. And the great news, Christy let me borrow her bag. There's nothing I love more than seeing calm seas. When I come into any fishing destination, flying over Bass Strait, it was like, glass out. Fingers crossed the weather stays the same tomorrow, because these big tuna, the battles can last up to 4 hours, and it is much better if you've got a nice flat ride. I cannot believe when I talk to people how few of them actually been to Tasmania. It is such an incredible part of the world, the diversity, the fishing, it's just got a bit of everything. And people think, oh, Tassie must be raining and cold all the time. Just look at today, absolute brilliant sunshine, flat calm seas. Where else would you want to be? I cannot believe what I'm seeing. That is out of control. There are 2 massive schools of southern bluefin tuna working bait out there. The water is frothing. How is the view over Pirate Bay? I can see the Hippolyte Rock. Can't wait to get out there. Mind-blowing. Look at them. I'm on the Pirates Bay jetty with Locki Nichols. Locki is a gun angler for both tuna and swords. The sword we caught together off Bishno a few months ago, unbelievable. Now, Lock, should I be concerned that my wind indicator is telling me we've got a bit of a zephyr blowing?
Oh no, we want as much wind as we can possibly get. That's what'll get the tuna up, and that's what we want.
We want wind?
Oh, we sure do. The more the better.
Now, what are our chances of actually catching 100 kilo plus tuna?
Well, I probably spend 100 days on the water a year and end up getting 20 to 30 of those big tuna. So we have decent chances. There's certainly some big fish out there at the moment, so we'll give it our best shot. Just
doing the math, Locki, 100 days a year, 20 to 30, I think that's about, we've got a pretty good percentage chance of getting one. Doing the final preparation of some of this gear. When you're talking about big fish, you've got to make sure everything is 100%.
Alrighty, so today we'll be running some of my favourite lures. We've got JB lures, Meridian lures. We've got a few different sorts, different colours. I'll be running them at different lengths. Some only 20 metres from the back of the boat. Others will be, 60, 80 metres. So just running it out. We'll be running this one about 60 metres or so out of the outrigger.
Locki.
Yes.
I feel like I'm in an Alfred Hitchcock movie. The birds.
Birds, yep.
All these birds, do they mean tuna?
These are brown birds, mutton birds. We're not really looking for those. They're feeding on the smaller krill. We're after white birds, gannets, terns, albatross. That's what really leads us to the tuna.
So white birds equal tuna?
That's exactly right.
Let us find some white birds then. A lot of people think trolls just put some lures out and off you go, but the setup is really important. You might have these lures out for 9 to 10 hours. You want to make sure you get the right lure in the right place, have all your rods secured properly, get the outrigger set up, and get a spread going so every time you turn, big tangles. It's all about how bar the lures are from the back of the boat, what angle the rod tips are on, etc. Put in the effort and get it right, and it'll make a massive difference when the fish come up. So Lockie, I asked you to bring the scales to test my drags, but I'm confused.
Yep.
You've put a lure out, it ain't gonna work now. What's the plan?
So the plan is I'll test the drag with my hand.
A built-in hand scale.
Exactly.
How does that work?
So over the years, Dad and myself have sat down at home, just kept on testing drags with our hands and then putting it on the scales. We've worked out how to sort of set the drag to about 12 kilos with our hands.
So, show me how this works.
Alrighty, so we're putting it up to strike.
Yep.
All right. So we've got about 10 kilos of drag on there now. A little bit more. Perfect. All right, so we've got about 12 kilos of drag on there now. That's all we need.
I don't know whether to be impressed or amused. That's very cool. Back in 1831, the neck here was only 30 metres wide. That's 30 metres of sand with ocean both sides. And what they decided to do was set up a dog line with 18 dogs chained to a post, just in case any of the convicts escaped from Port Arthur. They'd get to here, the dogs would stop them. They were so intent on not letting convicts get away, they even had dogs on platforms in the water just to make sure those convicts stayed home. Well, one of our deckies today is 15-year-old Chloe Hammersley. Chloe, you're from Lonnie?
Yep. Sure.
And I believe you've caught a few good fish in your day. Tell me about some of your big barrel bluefin tuna captures.
Right, so my biggest one was 121 kilos, and we caught that just actually right behind us here, the little hippo. My other one was caught actually sorting just on the shelf up here, and he was 104 kilos and world record too. So
you've got a world record?
Yeah, I've actually got two. So.
Oh, hello. What's the other one for?
80.7 kilo bluefin at Pedra Branca. So yeah.
Well played.
Yeah. No.
So you said you're out sorting.
Yep.
Tell me you haven't caught a swordfish as well.
Yes, I have. He was 6 kilos. So.
Now, legend has it, you once fought a monster swordfish for a long period.
I did, 7.5 hours actually.
No.
Yes, no.
How are the guns?
They were a bit sore, but I went out the next day, popped my blisters and went out again.
So what about marlin, you caught them?
Yeah, I caught one of those earlier on the year actually in Bermagui.
So your time on the planet's nearly done because you're like 15. What's the one fish you'd like to catch before you move on?
One fish. I know, like I'd love to catch a sword over 300, like actually land one. So that's my goal this year, or this season I should say,
So before you turn 16?
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's a big chance we're going to see your name next to a few more world records?
I'm hoping so, yes.
I like the way she rolls. It is very, very hard to believe you can be trolling for 100+ kilo game fish that far off the rocks. Now, India Thompson, how have you been going on the big bluefin tuna lately?
4-0 at the moment.
And what's your longest fight time?
4.5 hours. So we just lost that one the other day.
After 4.5 hours on what tackle?
37 kilo stand up.
That is a serious fight. Long way from here?
No, probably only about 1 kilometre from where we are now, so.
I think we need to head in that direction, Lockie. Quick, go, go, go. Now, I was very lucky. I got to take you sword fishing about 2 or 3 months ago. You caught 2 swordfish in 2 days, pretty cool. But I believe you also hold a world record. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, it just came through the other day. It's just been confirmed. I've got the junior female world record for swordfish. So
that is impressive. How big is that fish?
267.4 kilo.
And as I always say, don't forget the 0.4. Now, you're in your last year of school?
No, 1 more to go.
1 more to go. And why aren't you at school today? That's the big question.
Fishing is priority, everyone knows that.
I like the way she thinks. At the end of the day, you'll learn so much out on the sea, and I assume that we're just going to pretend... Oh, this has got hit! Fish! Yep! We're on. It's a good fish. Fishing is priority, always. Now we're just going to get these other lines in. Didn't that just smoke, Indy?
That was a good hit, Paul. Really good hit.
Solid fish too. And what was your theory about coming in here, Lock?
So there was a little bit of cloud over in this direction, so I thought we'd come over here for a bit of a look.
Yep.
Found a bit of bait, started working it, came back around into a little bit of tide or influence here, and bang.
Now the big question, Indy, is it 11:15 yet? Because I made the call, 11:15.
No, that's a good fish.
Solid fish.
Yeah, mate.
And I can feel some big thumps.
Rightio.
Yeah, baby. And India's just clearing the deck. Don't run over us, boys, don't run over us. Got another boat just there. Right, can we start to chase this if we can, Lock? That is strike drag. 12 kilos of drag, in fact. And we're going to start chasing this fish. The chaos has subsided a little bit. Indy, how good was that?
Oh, no.
Just got absolutely smashed right behind me. And this fish is taken, look at that, he's straight down. What sort of depth have you got here, Lockie?
We're about 60 metres here.
Well, this fish has over 400 off, eh?
Good first run.
Cracking first run. The features of this landscape you can see behind me are a fairly recent creation. About 6,000 years ago, the sea reached its modern level. The details of Pirates Bay Beach and the rocky coastal landforms here have all been shaped since that time. About 20,000 years before that, the sea went out a lot further. In fact, Hippolyte Rock in the distance is where the shoreline was. Bit to the port side there, Lock. Now, Lockie's struggling to see my line because this fin's backing. It's IFISH braid, but it's blue and it's a bit hard to see. The good news is though, once I get my top shot on, it's hot pink and that will make it a lot easier for him. And I'm always a bit nervous when the braid's off on the reel and the top shot's off. I like to have that mono on for that extra bit of stretch and just that good gut feeling.
How you going there?
Yeah, good. I gotta say, I just love this reel, Indy. I was just saying to you, I think you need to get some of these.
It's a beautiful bit of equipment, especially when I was fighting those swordfish. It was a pleasure to use.
It is so good. This is a Shimano Telica 52 speed. It's equivalent to a Chiagra 80 wide, but it's like half the size or less. It's got 800 metres of line on it, 500 metres of IFISH fins backing, and then 37 kilo hot pink Maxima IFISH again. And the rod, now you've never seen this rod before either, have you?
No, it's a brand new rod. I might have to get one of those as well.
It is so cool. It's a Therese, and Therese makes some beautiful rods. I was at Tackle Wheel Cram yesterday walking out the door and I saw these brand new Therese game rods. They're rated 100 to 250 pound. They're serious. I mean, there's lighter ones as well, but they're just such a nice stick. I love those massive AFCO rollers.
Fully rollered.
So you can get those big wind-ons through when you're fishing for swords and stuff. This outfit is just an absolute dream to use.
Coming back on it now.
Here we go.
Rightio.
That's what we want. We're 300 metres away. Okay, so I've now got my Maxima back on the reel. So we're exactly 300 metres away. In fact, probably 250 because I lost a bit when I was fighting a sword. And it's much easier for Lockie now to see. And what a awesome feeling that was. And that reel just explodes behind us. It's the noise every fisherman wants to hear. And you might notice my crew jumping around the background, just getting everything organised. If all goes well, my producer Tom's going to jump in and try and get some nice underwater this fish, because we're going to release this fish no matter how big it is. We want to release this big tuna. I want you to see it. We want you to understand what an incredible fish we have here, but we really, really want to let it go because I love tuna, I love eating them, but also I love seeing them swim. So we'll try and get the best footage we can. We'll let it go, and then we'll go back to port. Very, very happy campers. You don't have to lift the rod a long way to get line back. Really important sometimes to work on slow and steady wins the race. All I'm doing, bending my knees, pushing them forward, that lifts the rod tip, and then literally one wind. Every inch you get can be crucial on a big fish. If you try and get too much, you end up getting nothing, and all you do is hurt your back.
You good there? Yep.
So you're happy with everything, Lock?
Yep, doing awesome.
So we're about 20 minutes into this fight now, and this fish is doing the classic tuna thing. It's gone down a bit deeper, and I can actually feel the thump of his tail through the line. So awesome though, the big runs, down deep, you just never know what they're gonna do next, and that's why I love them. What we're doing is just working out who's gonna do what, because you don't catch a big fish like this by yourself. So we're gonna work out, Indy's gonna grab the wheel when it comes up, Lockie's gonna grab the gloves, and we've got Chloe, she's on the tag and or gaff. The reason I say gaff, we obviously don't want to keep this fish, but there's a few seals around, And if it's not going to get away safely, if a seal has a go at it, we're not going to let it go just for the sake of it. So tag's the #1 preference, gaff is worst case scenario, but we've all got our job, we all do it properly, we get to see this big fish. Okay, we've got wind on.
All right, I'm going to let you in.
I can see the wind on. Everyone's getting ready to jump in their positions here. And this water's pretty clear and pretty blue. Oh, he's going again.
He's not ready yet.
He's coming up though, that's good. And this is when you start thinking about all those knots. Did I tie that plait properly? What about the cat's paw to the wind on? That swivel, did I crimp it right? Was that hook on that lure sharp as it could possibly be? All those things. This fish is coming up. Neutral, neutral, Tom's going out. That's what you call a dedicated television producer. Tom, hope you got your life insurance covered, mate. So we've just had a bit of a chat, and we think that the tuna thinks that my producer Tom is a seal. And judging by the amount of steak he ate last night at the loofah, he looks a bit like a seal too. So this tuna is actually sitting up high in the water column trying to avoid Tom, so it's quite an unusual fight at this stage. We're here to have fun, and I was just saying to my producer earlier how proud I am to be on a boat that is literally being skippered and deckied by a young team of anglers, and a few chicks as well, which is even better. Locki is 17 years of age. Chloe, 15. India, 17. How cool is that? They're in charge and they've put me on this big fish. That just shows me what a great sport fishing is, that the future of sport fishing is alive and well. You'll see the plait coming through there now. Just forward a touch, Lock. I want to get that plait on the reel.
Ready yet?
So what the plait is where my single line, I've done a plait to turn it into a double line, and I use that to attach my wind on leader because there's a loop on the end of it. And what I want to do is get that onto the reel, because this wind on is about 150 pound wind on. And once I got that on, it gives me a lot more pressure and power I can put on the fish. But I also don't want to go too crazy because you can pull hooks and still break a lot of stuff. So here comes a plait now through my thumb. The plait actually stretches, it's a great knot. Next wind, nearly, oh, he doesn't want to cut. Okay, plait's on. So now I've got a double line, you can see the double line. Whoop, the plait's coming off again. This is why these big fish are hard to stop. So inch at a time. And I've actually got my thumb locked over the line just a bit for that touch of extra pressure. Just trying to get that wind on. Here comes the wind on leader. Oh, I can feel him kicking, eh?
I'll tell you what, if we can get a target,
He's a
get
good
him away.
fish.
Solid?
Good fish.
Yeah, he's a good fish.
Okay, wind on's on the reel. Now, I think you've got to be real careful of here. Got to be real careful not to let the line bunch up on the reel. In your excitement, you can just keep winding and you're not going to get this fish up because it's going to bunch up and then get jammed to the reel, you lose a fish. So basically what we've got to do is just guide it across the whole time, because these big reels do not have level winds on them, because the level wind would just smash to bits on those big runs. So all about taking your time, level wind it up, and just nice and slow and steady again wins the race. And this fish is going to go nuts when it sees Tom. So Tom's just doing a duck dive now. He can free dive to 20 metres, and he's sitting right in behind the fish. I can see it with my Polaroids. Look at that. That big tail just going thump, thump, thump. And that's why tuna is so powerful, because their tail doesn't catch a lot of water, but they can do it real quick. And believe it or not, tuna need to swim every minute of their lives, they'll die. They need to force oxygen through their gills. They've actually adapted over the years so they can swim faster, and their metabolic rate out of control, so they must eat, eat, eat.
That is a good fish.
So after getting the wind on the reel and getting this fish almost at the boat, we can see it. It's now just ticking off again. It's taken another 100. And this is why they're so tough.
Been on it for 40 minutes, Paul.
Thank you.
There you go, keep the water up.
Thank you. Thanks, Al. So important you stay hydrated. I mean, down in Tassie today, it's only about 20 degrees, but when you've been fighting a big fish for a while, you tend to still get a sweat up.
But what we're doing here is, the wind is pushing the boat along and we're still gaining run, meaning that we're wearing this fish out and eventually we'll get it close enough to get a tag in it.
So it's important to keep the fish on the windward side.
Yep, that's exactly right. And it also stops you from blowing over the fish when the fish comes close.
And you'll notice, Indy, there's not much swell today. It's pretty calm by Tasmanian standards. But I'm still using those waves to pump and wind.
Yep.
So what I do here, when I'm going up, I hold. So I'm going up now. And then as I go down the next one, I just can get that little wind in there.
Yep.
And it might just be 2 inches, but...
Those little ones are crucial.
Absolutely, every little bit counts. Anything else I should be doing, Lock?
No, you're doing perfect, Paul. Just keep that line as tight as you can, and eventually he'll wear himself down.
Should I be concerned that we're slowly drifting towards Hippolyte Rock?
Yeah, it's never a good sign heading towards that. That's the seal's favourite spot, but...
I mean, we were 30 metres from the rocks when we hooked this. Look how far we are now. Double. I want to see you. That is big. That is big.
Giving you the runaround, Paul.
Sure is. Lockie, you've had fish in this instance before. What's the longest you've had a fish do this for if we actually got a tag in it?
In this situation, we've had it up to 3 or 4 hours where you can basically see the wind on. There's just nothing you can do to get that little bit closer. They just torment you.
Didn't want to hear that. Go! Wind on is on the rod. Wind on is on the reel. Wind on is disappearing again. Now that all happened. I was getting so close, and then my producer just wanted a nice shot of it. Well, we got a nice shot of it, so it's all good, and now she's going down again. Oh no, big seal.
Okay, that's why this fish is running. It'll take another big run here. If you want to get a video of the line coming off real fast, this will be an opportunity, I reckon, when he sees this seal.
We're losing line here, but Lockie's just driving away from the rock. We're getting so close now, it's just crazy. These southern bluefin tuna, epic fish. I mean, we're getting so close to this rock, I'm starting to get scared. They grow to over 200 kilos. They can live to 40 years of age and begin their spawning life at about 10. And incredibly, when they're young, they grow really, really quick till they hit their teenage years. Then they slow right down and just become the big fat cows of the sea. We're only in 40 metres of water. We are so close to that rock now. I can almost feel it scratching on my back. And we just don't know what to do. I mean, this fish is obviously headed for the structure, the safety of the rock. I reckon I've got about 30 metres straight down. I think he's trying to snag me, and Lockie said these big fish have been known to do this. There's nothing I can do. If we lose this fish to the rock, I'll just be devastated. So there's good news and bad news here. We've actually come to the eastern side of the rock, but now there's a small reef just out there as well, and the fish is literally going to pull us between the two. It is doing everything it can to win its freedom.
Well, that's what we're trying to do here, Paul, is we're trying to get it away from the rocks, trying to get away from the reef. So we just got it in gear slowly, just really slowly, just trying to walk him out nice and slowly. Just like you do with a kingfish, for example.
Well, working so, oh, I just felt a nasty bump then. So this fish is doing exactly what we want now. Lockie's got it tracking towards the first drop-off. The first drop-off goes from 50 to 100 metres. That's where we want the fish, plenty of deep water. To think it's taken us so far, and to think just an hour, 8 minutes and 20 seconds to the airport from my house. I do that a lot. 1 hour flight to Hobart, 45 minutes in the car, and here you are, hooked up to world-class fish at Eaglehawk Neck, Tasmania. Well, flight time has just reached an hour and 45 minutes. I'm starting to tire. I wonder if the fish is.
Well, we've just come over the 100-metre mark now. We've just gone past that bit of a drop-off. So now we're into a bit of safer water now.
So Tom, I bet you're just a little bit excited this fish is moving away from that big rock.
Oh, definitely, mate. Too so many seals there for my liking.
Don't worry, if it comes up, I want you to give this one your seal of approval.
Ha! Will do.
Oh. 2 hours and 35 minutes in now, and this thing is just dragging us to sea. If it goes any further, it'll be a live sword bait. There's our fish. That is a big boy. Look at the size of that.
Oh, far out, it's huge.
Forward, Lock, forward. Okay, wind on's coming off. That's a big fish. He come up, I saw him. He looks about 7 feet long. He's just epic. The fish was so close then. We had him right up, and if we wanted to gap him, we could have got some gaps in, but that's not our intent. We just want to show you he's still kicking strong. I reckon he's going to release well. We're going to keep Tom out of the water now, trying to get up as quick as we can, so we can show you this beast. Well, if you think Locki Nichols is a gun angler, wait till you see his little brothers. They're 11 and 13, and they can catch big fish. This is Sam. This is Toby. Can I ask, how old are you, mate?
I'm 13.
How old are you?
I'm 11.
What is the biggest tuna you've ever caught?
138 kilos.
How big?
138 kilos.
What's the biggest tuna you've ever caught?
142.
Are you serious?
Yep.
How did you manage that with those arms?
Did.
How long was the fight?
25 minutes.
Turn up now, he's just being smart. What about yours? How big is the fight?
Hour and a half.
They're making me look very bad, these boys, but I'm here to tell you, they can catch fish. Just under 3 hours, and you see the rock and the Australian mainland in the background. When I say Australian mainland, I'm talking Tassie, of course. This fish is just dragging us to sea, and there's nothing I can do about it. Oh no, we've just had another massive seal come past, and seals like to eat tuna. Please stay away, I don't want to lose this fish to a seal. Come on, come up, mate. I'm gonna let you go anyway, come on. Oh, there he is, look at you, big sea dog. What do you do? Obviously the seal's right behind him, and he's running. I've just lost everything I've worked the last hour for. And last hour and 20. 30. 40. Hour and 50. There's 2 hours. This is just ridiculous. For a fish to do this to me on 13 kilos of drag, after we've just had this massive tussle for over 3 hours, that is why you come fishing for southern bluefin tuna, because they are epic. 3 hours and 45 minutes is the updated time. And as you can see, we've got a bit of a sea. The rock is miles away, and this fish is now just using its weight to slowly tick line off my reel. So I've got my thumb on the line. I'm thumbing the line here too when I can. I'm trying to get this fish in as quick as I can, because the shorter the fight time, the more chance you got for survival. Okay, wind on's on. Big fish. It's under the boat. Let the wind on, just keep it nice and slow and steady, guys. He's going around that way, Lock. Nice and slow. That's a big, look at the size of that.
Oh my God.
That's a big bluefin. He's making things very difficult.
Got some big circles going on here.
That is a horse. Just come up, baby. Come on, break the surfs again. I want to see you. Nearly 4 hours. Epic fish. He's literally 3 metres away. But he just won't come up. Come to the side of the boat for us, come on.
Oh, look, there he is here.
Get away from those Yamahas, dude. I know you love them, but...
Yeah, quick, 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 quick.
He's just outside, slow down. How's the power? I just can't believe it, 4 hours. And he just keeps going for those motors. Oh, I'm fully locked up here. I'm on sunset. Got my thumb on the rod. He knows where the boat is, this guy. Slow it down, slow it down. There goes my knee. Well, look how big that fish is. He's gonna come up now, loot him. Swivel. Okay. Swivels up.
Hurry up, quick, 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 quick.
Okay, that's better there. Oh, look at that. Epic fish.
That is the biggest tuna I've ever seen.
Look at that.
We've got fish, guys.
That is insane. How's the size of that? Over 4 hours
Engines are going in here.
on 37 kilo. What a fish. That is a beast of a tuna. We need a pic of this. My camera's taking photos as well.
Woo!
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
That is an absolute horse. Now, Locki Nichols has seen a lot of big tuna in his days, probably 100 fish over 100 kilos, and he's calling this
140 plus.
140 plus, he's saying. And we're just looking for a tag.
Come on, baby.
That fish fought so hard.
Ready, here's your shot.
Go, Locki.
Here's your shot.
Yes.
I got it.
Tags in.
Yeah, baby.
Woo!
If I knew how to use this camera, I'd take a photo. There's no rush for me to swim this fish, it's all good.
Ready?
Yep, take the lure out. Okay, here you go, Rick. Watch it swim away, it's still kicking. It's kicking. Oh yeah, it's kicking. There you go, mate. Come on. Yes, it's kicking. Take the motors out of gear. It's kicking. It's going down.
Yes!
Yes!
Yeah,
I don't know if you can tell, but we're a little bit excited to come to Tasmania, Eagle Hawk Neck, fish on Steve Wolf's charters. Make sure you check him out. And Locki, his very first day as a charter boat skipper, he grew up in this town. That's all he wanted to be. That's what dreams are about, kids. If you want to know about dreams, check out the tag of that massive blue tuna. One more thing you got to do. Group hug!